Well, let's call the May meeting of the Batavia Township Board to order, and if you would, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, man.
And I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Walt Donnet,
Here.
Tom Sharp,
Here.
Troy Trusana,
Here.
John West.
Here. You didn't,
Oh,
you didn't know?
well,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
here.
Okay.
So, we have all of the trustees and the supervisor present. And we also are joined by BATV, so it will be recorded, and the clerk, and my grandson, who's working on a Boy Scout merit badge. So that's why Christian is here.
Welcome.
Oh, there's nobody, that's somebody who's coming in. You weren't welcoming anybody. Him.
My man right there.
Okay, that guy. So, do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the April meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the April meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion, any corrections or additions to the minutes? If not, then we'll have to have the clerk call a roll on the approval of the minutes of the April meeting.
West,
Yes.
Donnet,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
Trusana,
Yes.
Tracy.
Yes. And the next item is the approval of the bills for May. There are the folder of the bills for payment this month is there. Before we do that, I will, the bank statements from the concluding in April are also there. And, I'll just mention that there's a balance of $225,000 plus in the general fund and a balance of $32,155 in general assistance checking account. And the road fund has a balance at the end of April of $449,193. So there's plenty of money in the bank to pay the bills. We do not, because of staffing issues currently, we don't have the budget reports, but I might just mention that we're in the first month of the fiscal year, so that there's really not a budget problem. We're not likely to overspend the budget for the year in the first month. So, is there a motion to approve the payment of the general fund bills?
So move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
So there's been a motion and a second to approve the general fund bills, which are in the amount of $78,193.57. I might mention that there's some big items here, which is the second invoice for Clark mosquito spraying. So we pay for the entire season in two payments at the beginning of the year. And that's less than the budgeted amount. There is also a bill for the insurance with the Township Officials of Illinois Risk Management Association, which is in both the general fund and the road fund. 40% of it we bill to the general fund and 60% to the road fund, so it's in the road fund bills as well. I'll also mention that the assessor's office is purchasing new computers, and so that's all the Dell equipment. And I think we're done. I think this is it for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 plus. And then there will be an additional billing from Brian Cullen Associates for the installation. But that's in the assessor's budget in capital outlay, which has a budget of $10,000. So there's plenty of money there. Are there any other questions about the general fund bills? Good, then let's have the clerk call the roll on the approval of payment of the general fund bills for May.
Susanna,
Yes?
West,
Yes.
Donnet,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
Tracy.
Yes. So motion to approve the road and bridge fund bills for May in the amount of $31,062.30.
So move.
Okay, motion by Donna.
Second.
Seconded by Tusana,
West.
or West, or somebody. Okay,
No,
West.
not somebody, West.
West, Mr. West. Are there any questions, concerns about the road and bridge fund? The big item there, again, is the annual insurance, which to the road fund is 16,000 plus. Any other questions? If not, then let's have the clerk call the roll on the approval of the road and bridge fund bills for the month of May in the amount of $31,062.30.
Donnet,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
Susanna,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Tracy.
Yes. Very good. Next item on the agenda is the assessor's report, and I had an email from Tammy today saying that she was not going to be in the meeting, that she's swamped with work. The assessor's office is busy doing a number of things, including answering a lot of phone calls here because the real estate bills, as you know, came out this week, and the state, or the county treasurer did us a great favor by putting a letter with it that says if you have any questions, call the assessor's office, which is not really appropriate since they have nothing to do with this year's tax bills, really. All right. So Tammy is not here. And the next item on the agenda then is the road commissioner's report. So Chris, do you have?
Well,
anything?
we're obviously turned to summer, so, brush pickup is well underway. Joe's got a load getting ready for you.
Great.
He's trying to be selective.
I appreciate
The
that.
first-
Thank you.
First couple of batches we had were kinda crappy, so.
Yeah, the township has chips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there, people are welcome to come out to the
Hawthorns.
property and pick them up, so. Had somebody out there over the weekend, I saw. And the great news is, we have our 2022 major road projects already finished.
Wow.
They came in quick, but Geneva Construction asked, they said, we're gonna just be swamped at the end of the year. If you're ready, as soon as the weather breaks, and they were here, it was a little chilly, but they were in 2 weeks ago. And,
Where did they work at? Out west?
we did, yeah, Hickory,
Okay.
Hickory Court and Rosewood, which is all together.
Right.
CV is right off of
Right.
Deer Path. And Deer Oaks, which is off of Tanner. So it's a little subdivision down off of Tanner.
Okay.
And they did an excellent job. I was very impressed when I came home from vacation and saw it. So, very happy about that. We do have a new employee that we took on to replace Ben as he's leaving. And looks like he's gonna work out real good.
But you still have an opening, right? There's
I just closed
total
it.
for 3,
Yeah.
and
Well,
one's leaving, and so that still leaves you with 2 guys.
2 guys, that's all we'll use, is 2 guys
Okay.
typically. Sometimes we get some summer help if it
Okay.
works out, but it's kinda hard because they won't have a CDL, so they can't move some of the equipment around.
Can't use the big trucks
Yeah.
and stuff.
This guy's a 30-year Marine veteran, and real nice,
He's a nice fellow.
real nice guy.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So
And I
where's
think he's
Ben?
real good with the explosives, and so we shouldn't have a whole lot of
So
trouble
we're
out there.
gonna get a lot of carp.
As long as he's good at picking up brush and leaves, we're good.
Yeah, no, he's good, and he knows, already knows 2 of the guys out of Blackberry, so
So you live in Batavia?
he lives in Geneva. But,
And you
his
were-
name is Scott Singer.
And you were using your new mower.
Yep, we got the new mower, new tractor out yesterday, and we're learning how to,
I saw you guys had something down, a little backhoe or some kind of little grader or something to fix that little island up back. It had a little damage from the
Yeah.
snow plows and stuff.
trying to get cleaned up
Yeah.
and catch up. It's hard, because everything's, you wanna do it
Yeah, right now.
the first, so. No, but it's going well. Gonna miss Ben, of course. He'll be on part-time till September.
What's he doing?
He's gonna go fly for JetBlue.
Oh, he's a pilot already?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Wow.
he just needs a few more hours and a couple of certifications, and
JetBlue.
so it's what he's been working for the last 4 years, every hour he could get off.
I don't know, did those guys start out like at JetBlue and Spirit and then work their way up to American and then United after that?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that how it
There's
happened?
2 routes. One's through the small carriers,
Yeah,
and one's directly with the big carriers. So this was, with the guys he's been working with out of Aurora Airport, this was kind of their recommendation.
really?
Get in with
A small group
a small
first?
carrier, and then work your way up, so.
Okay,
um,
good luck to them.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of jobs in the big carriers, but he didn't want to go that route. But it's a dream for him, and I'm tickled for him, so.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he's wanted to do, right?
Yep, I'll miss him. He's been my right-hand man.
He's been around for
15 years he's
15
been here.
years.
so who's gonna be the crew leader now?
Joe's gonna take over as crew leader. And so far, they're working together just fine. Now, of course, now Joe's off farming, so
Yeah, it's spring.
he saves all his hours up in overtime to farm in the spring and fall. So, gets a little confusing.
How many acres does he have to farm
I think it's over 1,000.
by himself?
No, he and his dad
Oh,
and his
okay.
grandpa. He owns,
It's
part
a
of
family
White.
deal.
Yeah, he owns part of White Farms. Which is his dream. Always wanted to be a farmer, just couldn't afford it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it works out good, and it gives the opportunity for him to do some farming and yet have a regular job for income and
Yeah.
insurance. Life is good.
Anything else for
That's all I got.
on the road? Good. So the next item is public participation, and we have one member of the public here.
Any questions?
Hearing none.
As chatty as he usually is.
He was pretty chatty, actually. So let's go to the old business, and the first item is the waste hauler business. I don't know, so
I'll just
Mr.
give a
West,
little brief
give a little brief
overview
report.
of what's happening now, and then that's it. So, after the last month's meeting, it was okayed that I maybe searched around a little bit, and I'll be honest, before I got to the a chance to get a hold of Groot or anybody, a neighbor of mine called me, and he was quite upset, and he said that the current hauler had promised him a 30% discount. His new bill came, and it was the same one as he had been sent to him original. Didn't have the discount or anything. So he called over to Groot, and Groot has a pretty decent rate, and he decided to go with him. So I just made a flyer up for my neighborhood, and I also sent one to Tom for his neighborhood.
And I'll add that I gave that to everybody in my neighborhood.
Yeah, and some folks have switched over to them already,
Good.
and others in the township are welcome to as well if they're looking for.
Do they have to mention anything to get the better rate, or
Well,
your name?
no, no, Van's not here. I'm not trying to really promote this, okay? I'm just saying that there's other options for waste hauling, and Groot is one of them.
I'll ask you a question about this, and you may, and I want to couch my words correctly. I know that there is a fee if you discontinue using waste management of about $75, I believe. It's the statement at the bottom of the invoice is at least $75, and to include, and they've got a myriad of different additions onto that they could tack on to you. And I will add that in talking to some of the people that are in my little burg over there, they argued that and said that that's stupid and ridiculous, and said that they're not paying it. And I think they refused to pay it in the end. And as far as I know, they did not pay it. And I was wondering if you heard anything in your neighborhood in regards to that.
I'd be anxious to hear how that came out, because when we switched at the township, Waste Management said your contract self-renews, and you're welcome to leave, but you're still gonna pay us every month till the end of the contract. And you have the right to cancel that contract within between 60 and 120 days before the end of the contract. You need to send us a certified letter. But they were pretty insistent that they would win that.
That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Too bad Van's not here to discuss
Okay,
that
so,
with us.
so in my neighborhood, some have already switched over. They were at the end of their contract. Some are going to switch over. They haven't yet because they are not at the end of their contract, and the current waste hauler would not let them out of it. And as far as I know, they are still trying to charge $75 for the pickup of their old containers. So we don't need to get involved in that. That's a personal thing between the residents and the waste hauler, you know. The only thing we were trying to do is just get
Better rates.
a better rate for some of the folks, and we can't enforce anything. We can't really tell anybody to do anything.
Is there any other alternative besides Groot to waste management? Do you know?
There might be Lakeshore Recycling, I think, is another one. There might be some other small ones,
Yeah, I don't-
but I mean, you know, I guess everyone's on their own if they want to go out and get somebody. But this is a
I
pretty
don't
fair
know if
rate.
it would not be worth their while if there was only one or two on a block or in the neighborhood. But if there were 10, then somebody might switch over and accompany that. But I don't know what other alternatives there is besides Groot and waste management.
Does group come weekly or bi-weekly?
Weekly.
Every week.
Every week?
Yeah.
I did send everybody a copy of the letter, and it has all the details on there. It's actually pretty generous. So, it's out there, that's where it's at right now, and I think as of right now, I'm done with it, and, well, I mean, I did what I could,
Yeah.
and that's it. We can't
Yeah,
force
Thanks
anything.
for doing that.
Yeah.
And it's up to each resident and the waste hauler, so, that's it.
Great.
Bless
Thank
you.
you.
Bless you.
Thank you for doing it. Next item that I have on the agenda is the purchase of the Township Car, because we've reached something of a problem. And that is, I will refresh your memory, is that we advertised for bids on a GMC Terrain. And there was only one bid, which is by Woody Buick GMC, where we had gone in the first place. However, I now find that GMC Financial is whom they go to execute the lease. And we started out with an individual lease. I said, no, this is not an individual. Then we had a business corporate lease. I said, no, it's not a business. I said, it's a municipal, it's a local government unit. Oh, so then GMC Financial got involved, or they sent it over to there, and we had a proposal for a municipal lease purchase. It's not a lease, I don't think. It's a purchase agreement. And the original one, which I think I have sent you copies, is for 3 years with a monthly payment of $922.50, and at the end of the 3 years, we would own it. Well, that's not what we thought was a lease. So finally, the contact person for GMC Financial was on this, so I called her. And I said, there must be some alternative other than 3 years. Oh yeah, over what period would you like it? And I said, well, how about 6? Sure. I said, would you send me a proposal? Send it to me directly, not the dealership. So that's what you have before you. is a lease purchase for a lease term of 6 years with a monthly payment of $445.88. But because the township board approved a lease, I'm coming back to you and say, well, do you want to buy it? That's my question. Or you want to go back to the dealership and say, forget it. They have $1,000 of a deposit to hold the vehicle, which they're hanging on to. The amount,
So what's the interest total for the 6 years?
6.389%.
I know, but what's that, you know,
I don't know.
$8,000?
I don't know what it would be. I guess if you multiply 6 years times a monthly payment of $445.88, you would find the total payment, and the amount financed is $26,750. So whatever the difference is the finance charge.
Did you get it?
32,103.
32 is the total amount,
Yeah.
so it's about $2,100? No, it's more than that, isn't it? Because the car's 30,000.
445,08. Times 12 times 6. 32,045.
Wow. That's the cost of the car.
That's the interest?
No.
Oh, that's the
That's the
whole.
total payment.
Total payment.
And this amount financed is what I gave them, which differs from the 3-year one, because on the 3-year one, they had the entire the manufactured list price, and the offer that we have includes a discount of $3,085 and rebates of $750. So I said, you know, don't use that figure, use what they quoted us as our price, $26,750. Now, I anticipate arguing with the dealership about all this when I go back.
Well, you wouldn't have to.
So you said it
finance
was
all.
31
You could
something?
put
Yeah,
bigger down
32.
payment down.
32?
So that's
$6 grand.
6 grand.
I'll loan you money out of the road district.
Do we have any
6%.
money to just buy the thing?
well, the
Yeah.
question is, do you wanna buy it rather than lease it? Or do we wanna start over?
Buy a used vehicle. It's not gonna be driving much.
We don't know.
Used vehicles are pretty high too right
Yeah,
now.
they're terribly high right
Yeah.
now.
So I
Timing is just,
either way, you're
Great.
screwed.
Is there an idea of how long the vehicle would be kept? Like 10 years? I mean, is it?
Oh, well,
you know,
well, I think that if we buy it, we're gonna keep it probably for the length of time, unless.
Well, I mean, if it's a 3-year deal, we can't just go out and get a new car after 3 years. It's gotta last for a long time.
Well,
Otherwise,
if
there's
we-
no
if-
point in buying a car versus paying for mileage.
If we're paying it for 6 years, then I would anticipate that we would keep it for at least 6
you
years.
might find yourselves, if you trade it in often enough,
My
It's a wash between that and
pay the
keeping it
difference
and
and
paying a
treat
big
it,
cost
it would
later.
act like a lease,
yeah,
because used cars with low mileage, which this would be, are gonna bring top dollar, so, I mean,
so that,
that's what I would do, rather than think about letting it run for 30 years.
And then buying a new one.
Yeah,
And then,
seeing how you do, you know, seeing what the next step is.
so that's an alternative.
so, is there money to buy it outright?
Yeah.
And that
Well,
was,
it's just simply a monthly payment, which would be split between with different views on how to do this. Chalberg has one view. My idea is that the payment would be simply split between the assessor's fund and the general fund.
Save money just buying it outright.
And so it would go in the budget as well, it could go in a number of places. In both budgets, there's travel expense, where it could go, or it could go just in a general expense. We would figure it out. where to put it in the budget.
But that's okay, so you said it would go, I got the inference from you that it would be spread out over some time, but if we buy it, we'll just buy the whole thing, period, and be
No,
done.
no, we're
Yeah.
gonna pay it with a monthly
You're gonna
payment.
pay it with a monthly payment.
Yeah.
So we'll still have interest to pay on it then if we do it that way.
Yeah,
So was there enough to buy it outright, or not?
no,
Oh, okay, I thought you said yeah for that.
No.
Okay, no.
So what is the difference in leasing it for the time period and the cost of that versus
There is no
buying?
lease.
We can't,
GMC
Oh, you
Financial
can't. You
doesn't
can't do it.
provide a lease.
That's
Other
right.
companies will.
yeah,
Other
I think
companies
other
would.
companies, why don't we look elsewhere?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you wanna go, we would then, I think, be talking about a different vehicle.
That's okay.
Why?
Right.
Well, who's gonna, well, I don't know, I suppose we can ask the dealership, okay, we wanna lease it, find somebody who will lease it to us.
Go to TFC, that's who I.
Okay, we'll go to
purchase
the
that
bank.
through. They'll do both leases and purchases.
Okay, well, we can do that. I can go to the bank and say, can we lease this vehicle through you?
Well, bank or companies that,
Leasing company.
yeah.
Well, obviously, what they're gonna do, if you look at the proposal, is that they're gonna sell it. So that the proposal has in it, what is it?
You buy your car
Something-
off the state bid?
There is no state, well, there is no state bid on this car.
I know, but
Is there a car that,
I don't know,
Yeah,
probably.
when does the state bid come out, or?
it's out,
You
but
can
it,
get,
not the brand she wanted apparently.
That's another thing. You can start
what you
over
get.
and you can go inquire
Get what
from
you
the
get.
state and say, what
I think
vehicle?
Ford's on the state bid this year.
Probably a Ford.
And those are significantly cheaper than if you went out and bought them outright or leased them outright?
I saved, like on my pickup, I saved about 10,000.
Oh, hell,
Yeah, yeah,
hell.
go
Why
that
do we
way.
one of those little
Why do we
white
have to have
Ford-
this particular vehicle?
Because it was picked out by the assessor's office. I shopped and they didn't like any of my choices.
I mean,
Well, I didn't like the vehicle I was driving at the city either, but it was a cheaper vehicle.
Yeah,
It wasn't
it
like,
makes sense
know.
to go,
All right, so.
Yeah, why
but
wouldn't we
I-
do state bid type thing? And get a
I told-
comparable
I told
vehicle?
Tammy about it, I said, look into it, and
So,
I
I
would
don't
make
know,
a
I-
motion that we investigate state bid vehicles.
is there a second?
yeah, I'll second that.
okay.
Is
and the
there
way I
any,
did it on my pickup is I went to Ford in, well, because the state bid dealer was in Wisconsin. So I went to Zimmerman and said, hey, I'm gonna get a pickup truck through, on the state bid, can
Can you match it?
you match it? And he goes, well, hell yeah, we can beat it. So they beat it by $500, so
So here's my opinion.
you just gotta work at this stuff a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah,
make
yeah.
inquiries.
Yeah.
I've been on the board for a few years, and we had a car that no one used. And things change, I understand that, and we sold it. And it was older, and times change, I get that. And now there must be a need for the car. I mean, otherwise they wouldn't be asking for it. But I don't see anything wrong with getting a car off the state bid, and, you know, it might be, you know, it doesn't have to have roll-up windows or anything like that, but
They have several options.
yeah, this car here is a pretty fancy car. And we're supposed to be helping save the taxpayers' money. I say investigate the state bid for a, you know,
Comparable car.
Something comparable,
yeah, and see what we got and go with that. If it's not,
something comparable might be like a Ford Explorer or something like
Yeah,
that, you know.
Yeah.
They sell them to police departments all over.
I mean,
Any further discussion? Are you ready for a vote?
I mean, if we go with the state bid, do we lease that, or is that an outright buy?
I don't know.
What have you done, Chris?
I have gone with the state bid, and I've used a company called TFC or TCF.
Yeah.
To do my interim financing.
Okay.
Put him in charge of it.
you know. I didn't lease it because I had no intentions of getting rid of it that quick, so.
Right.
But you could have.
The last truck I bought, I paid a third and financed a third.
Any-
and had it
anybody-
set up for two.
Does anybody
Two
sitting
more
here today
payments over
want to
2
take on
years.
this task of investigating the
They'll-
state
They'll
bid?
do whatever you want.
You didn't hear who was talking.
Is anybody here tonight want to take on the task of investigating the state bid for a vehicle?
I'll help you. I'll help you.
Okay. So, there seems to be a motion, there has been discussion. Let's have the clerk call the roll on the motion, which is to, as an alternative to investigate the state bid for a vehicle.
Sharp,
Yes.
Tucson,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Yes.
Tracy.
Yes. All right. Well,
Excellent. Thank you, Lee.
So I don't know, you know, it might be one of those things that, it's like I'm looking for a new plow truck chassis, cabin chassis. It'll be 2 years out.
That far.
Yeah, but a regular vehicle like a,
Explorer or something.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
should.
that right
I gotta
away.
think they're pretty common.
Okay, let's proceed with the next item on the agenda, which is next item on new business, which is reports for social service agencies. We need to be looking at this and then consider what we have done this year. And so what I asked each of these agencies, and there's a report by each of them. There's a sheet that shows what we've done for the current year and the amounts that we have given to various agencies. I have gotten responses from everybody except Tri-City Health Partnership, and I'll still ask them to respond, I guess, but they haven't gotten around to it yet. So I'll just mention that the total budget for the previous year was $125,000. I had to lower that in this current fiscal year to $115,000 in order to balance the budget. So instead of $125,000, what's in the budget, which you approved, is $115,000. But what we need to do is to take a look at the reports of these various agencies. I decided to have them report in writing rather than inviting them to a meeting. And so if you would want to review that, and then in June and July, we need to make a decision about how we want to portion the $115,000 for this current fiscal year. So I don't know, are there any questions about any of that whole stuff? So there is a report, but I asked the various agencies to provide a report as to how they use the money that we provided, and also to indicate, most of them did not, indicate what their needs are for the next year.
So if you ask somebody to tell us what their needs are and they don't,
Then we
is it
can,
up to us to,
then
That's what their needs
well,
are?
I suppose we can go back to them and say, again, give us some more information.
or we can do nothing? say
Or we
thank
can
you
do
very
nothing.
much and give them nothing.
That's
I mean,
true.
They haven't said we need
Now,
something.
the only group that said they really didn't need anything was Chapel Street Church. So I would not feel guilty. I mean, they do a lot of good work, but I wouldn't feel too guilty in not giving them any.
Yes, we do.
When you take an organization like Mutual Ground, they do a lot of good work too, but they got a multi-million-dollar budget and they're asking us for $5,000, so we drop that one out, they're not gonna be hurt too much either.
Yeah, and, Mutual Ground is now really two agencies. We used to support Mutual Ground and Breaking Free, which is a drug rehabilitation group, but they have absorbed Breaking Free into Mutual Ground. So, I think it's, what I was suggesting is that you look at these, think about it, make some, give us some thoughts, and if we need to do some further investigation, then let me know, and we'll do some further investigation.
so just so I'm clear, we've already done this for 125, the one upcoming is gonna be 115.
Right,
For 22-23.
right,
Thank you.
that's the story.
Is
Okay.
it 125 for 22-23, or was that for 21-22?
21, 22. previous fiscal year.
And this year it's 115.
Right. Okay.
Because you had to balance the budget?
Well, yeah, when I did the budget, because we increased some other areas, in order to balance the budget, I had to reduce somewhere, and so I did it here.
So that I see the big picture of things a little bit, is the car for the assessor's office part of that?
Well,
balance
now we're
of the
going back to
budget?
the car. The car is for the township use, to be used by any town, for any township need.
Right,
So if I want to drive the car, there is over there, we've already set it up, even though we don't have the car, is a schedule. So anybody who needs to use the car will sign up.
I think the question though was acquiring the car what took $10,000 out of this allocation?
Okay.
No, no. In fact, purchasing the car is not even in the budget. The budget was not built around, purchasing a car. It was an addition, which then we need to find a place in the budget for it.
She brought it up after the
Yes.
budget had been.
That is correct.
right, okay.
So how does that work? Where does that money come from?
Well, it can come, there's an item in both the assessor's budget and in the general fund for dues, travel, and training. So travel is one thing. There's also administrative expense. One could argue that it's administrative. There are not that many categories in the assessor's fund. It can't be wages and benefits, and it can't be capital outlay because that's the computers. And so there's only two other places to put it, in the assessor's budget. In the general fund budget, it could be, well, again, it logically would go under the item which is called dues, travel, and training, out of which we pay travel or administrative expense.
Isn't this kind of doing things backwards? Where you set the budget and then you want to acquire something that's not in the budget, and so you find a place for it rather than saying we need a car and budget for the car?
So we did not budget for 22 and 23 for a car,
There's no budget line item for
but we're
car.
trying to find a place for it now.
I will find a place. You don't have to worry about that.
That's not a real big issue.
No,
There's plenty of money within those two budget items that you talked about.
Right.
Whether it's between assessors or the general fund or something that you can pull that from.
right.
Which means we didn't look at that budget carefully enough. There's that kind of
Yeah, if you got $30,000 floating in there, and you can easily manipulate that around, you're right. I agree.
There's $10,000 in the general fund budget under dues, travel, and training. There's $7,000 in the assessor's budget. So right there is $17,000. There is, we did not spend the entire administrative expense budget for this current fiscal year in either category. So the assumption is that there is plenty of money in the budget because we did not spend that amount of money this current fiscal year. Now, I would agree that under the best of all possible worlds, it would
same
make
here.
some sense to have a line item in the budget for vehicle.
So one response to Tammy when it was brought up is to tell her that she has to wait another year.
Well, that's all right, we'll figure it out, we'll take care of it. But are we still on the car, or what are we doing?
No, I
Wanna go-
think,
you want-
If it,
so to answer your question, Lee, the
Well, I
the
thought
money
I-
has been reduced in this from 125
It's
to
not from-
115 doesn't have anything to do with
No.
the car.
No.
The
It has
reason
to-
why this went down is because,
Well, among other things, that wages and benefits in the assessor's fund went considerably up. So we had to make some sort of adjustment there. There's other areas where, in order to construct the budget, you can't have a deficit budget.
right,
So you can find $30,000 slosh in some other aspect, but you can't find $10,000 for this.
Well, if you want to change the budget in that, well, okay, number one, there is a budget category for social service agreements. So if you want to change the budget, you have to amend the budget in that area, because there is a line item for that.
And what is that line item?
It's $115,000 for social service agreements. So, do we have I'm not sure here, do we have a motion? We already made a motion with regard to the car, and there is no motion with regard to social service agencies. I said, just think about it, and ultimately we need to figure out
Right.
how to apportion $115,000.
Well, we don't need to make any big deal out of it, but we could just make a suggestion or two about some of these at a
Absolutely.
meeting, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We don't have to take 3 months or anything to figure it out.
No,
I could see a couple places I'd like to see some changes, but I'm not gonna go through it and spend, months on it.
we're not gonna spend a month on it. We're going to come agreement on which agencies to fund by July.
By July, okay.
Yep.
So it'll be on the July agenda?
Yeah,
and then
at
we'll be
least the
done.
latest in September, because I think we need to inform these agencies.
Okay.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, next item, and let me just tell you where we are with regard to this supervisor's office manager and case manager, otherwise Individual Layla Brown. Our problem is that we are now Layla has exhausted all of her available paid sick days, all of her vacation days, all of her personal days. So,
For this year?
for this year, so that she is now on vacation. She will return to the office on Thursday, and she will be paid for Thursday. She could continue to work, but if she misses any days, they're unpaid. So, what she has decided to do is to apply for IMRF disability. And I'll let you know where we are with regard to that. What that means is that there's a 30-day waiting period when we cannot pay her, and then she would go on disability. She can continue to work, and we'll pay her for the days she works, if that's what she wants to do.
Does that reset her 30 days?
Yeah, if we pay her, then she can't, there has to be a 30-day period during which she is not paid.
Are you going to get enough days of service from her to satisfy your needs as?
I have no more days from her. I'm assuming at this point is that I will not have her working.
You're assuming she's not gonna work at all anymore after that?
Yeah, now she can, and then we'll, because I haven't decided how to do the work, that's another issue. Okay, I can address that issue, but I'm just letting you know where we are with regard to this at this point.
Well, okay, so I'm a little bit, if she is not going to work anymore and take disability,
Mhm.
I would think you need somebody else to do.
That's the next item that's the next
Okay.
item that I will
All
tell
right.
you about, and that is that
Okay.
I have entered into an agreement with the Executive Geek LLC, and actually she came on the scene to work with Layla in updating QuickBooks. So there is a proposal which we're pursuing, which is in here, and that is that we will convert QuickBooks from the desktop to the online version, which has more options, and things can be done with it in addition to the desktop version. She's going to format all of the financial reports that are doing, and she will work monthly to provide bookkeeping services and ongoing monthly services, including all of the accounting and payroll. So that portion of what Layla has been done, she will do.
What's it gonna cost?
It's going to cost, it's right in here. It costs
I don't seem to have
1,300
one of those.
hmm?
I don't seem to have one of
You don't
those.
have one of these? Well, it's after all those reports, after all of the information from the agency.
Okay, it's implement time frame and pricing.
Yep, it's implementation, time frame, and pricing. So there's a cost of, well, the cost of $1,300 to do the conversion, there's a cost of $1,400 to customize the reports, and a cost of $800 monthly. So the total in, yeah,
And how much was Layla getting per month?
well, if you look at the payroll reports, then you can see what they are. They're in the payment of the bills. In the package of the payment of the bills, it shows, what the payroll is.
Which one is that?
Well,
It would be
it's,
in this one, general fund, you think?
you look at the general fund one, it's in both, but it's the Paycom reports, which are in there.
Not broken down by who they are.
No, I'm talking about this. Report. This right here. This is Layla Brown. This is a bi-weekly report. So in other words, she is paid a gross salary of $1,300 plus dollars every 2 weeks.
So a net of 926.
So we're paying a little bit more for this.
So we're gonna get this for half price basically. What else was Layla doing that this
General
person's not
assistance.
gonna do?
General assistance. I'm not sure how we're gonna do general assistance. We're working on it. Right now, I'm doing it.
How many clients per month?
Well, it's not only general assistance, it's also emergency assistance, and it's meeting the needs of the clients who are apply, not only those who actually end up getting benefits. So, right now, it's been about 4 to 5, inquiries per week, which means that they have to come in, they have to be interviewed, they have to fill out an application, you have to get information from them, then you have to make a decision.
Wow.
Is there a way to allocate those responsibilities to you and allocate part of this salary to you also?
I don't wanna do that.
When's the next election?
When's the next election? In, what is it, 3 years?
Oh, so we just started this one a year ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know that, yeah.
Yeah, it's an elected.
There are, I was going to, well, this is another question about general assistance. I attempted to get Aurora Township to do it. The problem there is that there are 2 forms of general assistance. One is needs-based and one is a flat rate. We, so far, are doing a flat rate general assistance. We also do emergency assistance. And so at one point, the Aurora Township was willing to do it on an intergovernmental agreement, and then they decided no, the gal said, no, that's not the way we do it, so I don't want to do that. So,
Is Howard available?
probably. He's working full-time for the Secretary of State.
He wants to run them off again.
There is.
If you guys
I-
have skills, let's utilize them.
Well,
If we can afford
I'm
them.
gonna, there's also, but I'm going to get a hold of Sugar Grove Township. They have a interesting arrangement of doing, with the way they're doing general assistance, which I'm not gonna bore you with. But, we can go to other townships and say, will you help, would you do the general assistance for us?
But we'd have to pay them, right?
Yeah, somehow, probably. We'll figure it out. I don't know the answer to that question right now. It's an open question. I don't have an answer.
Wow.
I think it's gonna be an evolving thing. If she does in fact go on the disability and she's not gonna work here, these people are gonna come and do this for a while, and then eventually we're gonna have to go back to having a person here. I mean,
maybe.
you can't do everything, and you shouldn't have to do all that stuff, and,
We'll figure it out.
yeah, figure it out as we go, I guess.
It's my, you know, it's my job to figure it out.
And Lee, the
Okay.
upgrade,
All right,
the upgrading of QuickBooks is critical, and QuickBooks can do a lot more than has been received from it, so.
Yes.
That's.
That
a
started,
consultant, yes.
started out as the objective, independent of anything else that happened. We were gonna do that anyway. Okay, anything else? Where are we in the agenda?
July 12th meeting.
Oh, yeah. I need two things. Penny and I are not gonna be here on July the 12th. The next meeting, the June meeting, we will do it remotely by Zoom. Penny and I will be in Wisconsin. The July 12th meeting will be somewhere between Europe and here. So we need a deputy clerk. I have an idea, and I sent out a note today to see if, you know, somebody was really interested in doing that, unless you have other suggestions. So we need to get a deputy clerk, and we need to have somebody preside at the July 12th meeting as the supervisor. So we have a month and a half or 2 months to figure this out. The practice, I guess, in the past has been to have the senior trustee, which would be Mr. West.
I'll do it.
You wanna do it? Cool.
Good.
All right, good boy. So that's settled. We'll find a deputy clerk, and we'll have trustee West run the meeting. And we'll construct the budget, the agenda and all that stuff.
Is there any
Awesome.
time limit on any of these? We have to find the deputy clerk and have that person sworn in by a certain time?
I wanna do it in the next couple weeks. Yeah, we'll do it yet this month. We'll find somebody. Any trustee reports? If not, I will remind you that there is a Township Officials of Kane County gathering in St. Charles on May the 25th at 6 p.m. And there, I think you've gotten information about it. It's
Correct, yeah.
included in your packet. There is a TOI event in Rockford, which is a general, kind of a general township question and answer thing. If anybody would like to go, you can look at the information. And there is also a TOI supervisors meeting in Rockford on June the 17th. I don't intend to go to any of these except the Kane County meeting on May the 25th. So if anybody else is interested, you know, you can go to Rockford for a day and learn stuff and let me know.
We went there once.
Good
You and I did.
We went to Rockford?
Yeah, I drove you.
That's right, we did. What happened? It was.
We learned a few things and we drove home. So
Rockford's closer than Springfield.
what's this June 14th meeting on Zoom?
Oh, that's the next meeting, the June 14th regular meeting. This meeting, the regular monthly meeting in June
Okay,
will be on
okay,
the
I got you,
14th.
I got you.
And we'll do it on Zoom. All
Now,
right,
you're gonna be gone, and that's why we're doing it on Zoom?
we're gonna be in Wisconsin.
No,
So
that's
one-
July.
In July,
In July.
and Penny and I are gonna be in Europe.
Okay, but for that Zoom,
June 14th is gonna be Zoom.
Yep, June
meeting,
is Zoom. From the Northwoods, or from wherever you are.
I misread that because I thought it was July and I thought, oh, wait a minute.
No,
Lee, will anybody come down here?
no,
No. They'll
you're not gonna
attend-
open the office.
no,
No.
there won't be anybody here. Unless somebody wants to be here.
We
Somebody,
just got these guys back, you know?
well, yeah, well, if any of you want to meet here and participate in the meeting via Zoom from here, that's an option, let me know.
You could have everybody here except you.
Yeah, what you have
And
to do.
Tammy, open up the,
Yeah, then what you have to do is to have to figure out how to do it. What
It
we've
is-
done is to do it either using these computers or a laptop. You wanna engineer that?
That's not hard.
No, it isn't hard.
No, you just have to pay it, we can get on the Batavia website.
Well, no,
Or
you can
not the website,
you can
the
log
Zoom
into
link.
Zoom.
We can log in.
Just
and
You
do
then-
can
Zoom
log
link.
into Zoom using these computers.
Or laptop.
We
Or
could-
a laptop.
We could set you up right here, and your
Yeah,
smiling face could be here.
I could.
There you go.
Now, actually, Tammy is now conducting she is the chairman, president or something of the county assessors organization. And she's doing that with the Batavia Township Zoom account. So,
So she knows how to work it.
she knows how to work it with Riley's assistance.
We'll just have her come here then, for that night, and we'll have it
Yeah.
down here.
Okay, we'll do it.
And we'll just use the laptop or something, or
We'll do it.
we can set you right there.
You can put me
I would
right
rather
here.
meet here than do the Zoom for individuals.
Okay,
Yeah, same
that's
here.
what we'll do, so that the June meeting will be a hybrid meeting. Join either on Zoom or here locally, using the computer to
Right.
see anybody who's on Zoom.
Excellent.
And I suppose we could have BATV here,
yes,
too. Okay, let's
Make the
plan
motion.
on that. I don't need to be the technician. Somebody else will have to do that, since I won't be here to do it.
But you do need to leave the information of what the login is and the link and stuff.
Oh, yeah, we'll get, yeah, that's
That's
simple.
easy.
You'll send that out.
Yeah.
I'll send it out,
Okay.
okay?
You can do that. I got the keys, you can get in.
Yeah, Chris is the computer specialist.
I don't have access to the computers, but I want access to the computers.
Well,
We'll bring a
can,
laptop down.
We could
too.
just bring any laptop, I mean, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
no, it doesn't matter.
actually, I never turn this one off, so you never have to log in,
Oh.
unless it shuts itself down. You can-
I move we adjourn.
Second?
What time is it?
What time is it? It is, I was,
7:57.
7:57. We did it before 8 o'clock. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing nobody opposed. The May meeting of Batavia Township is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thanks for attending. See you next time.
Thank you.